Cypher got knocked up by one of the other gods. What would happen? Part 2. In the first video, we looked at Tarma, but today we're going to be looking at Desolation, the god of destruction, which is also the same god that almost ripped her head off. By putting a baby in Cypher, he would effectively end one of the largest divine feuds in the world. This would actually unify the entire East after a ton of bloodshed. It could also lead to one of the biggest wars that could potentially end the world. And don't worry, we're going to cover all that in this video. So by Cypher and Desolation having a baby, this would actually push Cypher to do what Desolation could not do, which is to purge the East of all the descendants from the Metal Kingdoms, something Desolation has been kind of pussyfooting around with for years. And while the Were clans are really struggling right now to stay afloat, by Cypher taking this charge and just purging the East with her void monsters, the Werebears and Were creatures would actually flock to her side and be protected under her utopia. But because of the difference in ruling style between Desolation and Cypher, they believe that there would be a massive rebellion and civil war within Wargost and between Cypher's holy city. And only after that conflict is resolved would the East truly be able to be unified and start rebuilding itself up once again to become a world power. But we still aren't done yet, because this would actually affect the South with Reaper and Vershire. This union between one of the strongest melee combatants and Cypher would probably cause Reaper and Vershire to stop their feud and start building up forces to combat these two. And eventually, let's talk about what could be the most devastating war to ever happen in this world. While Cypher may be okay with generally staying in her part of the world, Desolation does not share this viewpoint at all. And after unifying the East, he would most likely try to convince Cypher into marching west with him to confront the Grave Jungle and the Spirit of Death and Wind. Which means that if Cypher and Desolation get killed during this conflict, the world is down 2 gods and the East is kind of back on its own. But if they were to actually push Confero to the edge, Neru, the Spirit of Wood and Lightning, would most likely jump into the conflict. If Neru is going to jump into the conflict, then you can be guaranteed that Ezerod, the Spirit of Snow and Earth, is not going to be far behind, which means by proxy, Glace, the Goddess of Winter Seasons, will be jumping in. This is why that union is so dangerous, because it would effectively launch the entire North into divine war, which means that the South is going to be prepping itself to either invade or defend itself from the North, meaning it would be the world's first world war. We'll be doing another pairing with Cypher if this video reaches 10k, so slap the repost button and tag a few people in the comments. Let me know who I should do next.